Well, as you can see, I have finished fiberglassing the inside of the boat, and I have put the deck back on and have edge glued it. I still have to go through and fill the gaps with some epoxy paste. But in the meantime, I'm working on the deck itself, trying to smooth it out and round it and so forth while the thing really cures out. I'm using a couple of tools, actually 3 at this point. I use a file, wood file. Take down some of this hard stuff, and then I'm using this cabinet scraper, which is a tool I got from Pygmy. I had no idea what it was or how it worked, and I'm finding it really useful. You drag it along a flat surface, and it takes the fiberglass down very quickly, the high points. That pretty much leaves the smooth areas alone. Then when I'm all done with that, I get my sander out, and I sand and I try to round things. And the thing you have to be careful of is where one edge might be up a little bit that you didn't expect. I actually got through one of the layers here. I don't know whether that'll show a little bit or not. But that's the point we're at now. We're working on the deck. Finish the edge gluing, fill any voids, sand this all down, and then get ready for fiberglassing the deck itself. So that would be my next step after I finish preparing. Well, it's been a few days since I could work on the boat. I finished gluing the deck on, filled all the gaps at the sides, taken the wires out and all the tape, and have scraped down the top surface of the deck and sanded it round. It looks pretty good. Now I'm working on where the deck joins the shear line of the boat with the hope that I can get this to look good as well. Getting the edges to mesh neatly so that you can round them the way the instructions ask is not quite as easy as it might seem. In some cases the edges come together just perfectly. In other cases the top, the deck will overlap a little bit, not much, fractions of an inch, and in other times the shear line of the boat is a little higher than the deck, and so you have to work at rounding these out. I'll show you what this looks like here. You know, here's the deck line. The bow actually stuck over by, I don't know, a fraction of an inch, and after fiddling with it for a while, I just sawed it flush. I've, you know, here the deck line, or the deck line is a little wider than the boat, and I've worked at that. I'm probably going to have to work at it some more. Here they're about where they ought to be. Here the side of the boat begins to come out a little bit more. And I get down here, and the side of the boat, as you can see, is out more than the deck, and so in order to get the rounding I've got to actually work on this. I've been using 3 tools to do this with. One is my cabinet scraper, which takes down the excess fiberglass. The second tool is my wood file. That's the one I'm using predominantly along here. And then finally, I finish up with this, the sanding block. It's slow going, but I keep at it because I want it to look good when I'm done. Well, I've finished sanding the shear edge, filing and sanding, and getting the extra epoxy off and rounding the edge so that the cloth will lay flat when I put it on. And that's my next step, is putting on the cloth. But I'll give you a quick look at what this looks like. Looks really nice, actually. Here's the whole length of the boat. You can bring the bow to the stern. Decks are all nicely rounded. Edges are rounded. Bow is been fixed. We have a little void here, which we'll take care of when we glass. It's been actually a pretty hard job doing this. This is the seam that is still the roughest, but it's the hardest to get to because of where it lies. But you can see how the seam has come together. Ends are rounded. We're ready to glass. Well, I finished preparing the deck for glassing. I did a saturation coat on the deck yesterday afternoon and had a terrible problem with outgassing. One of the first things they tell you in the book is that the temperature needs to be stable when you apply the saturation coat. If the temperature is rising, as the wood rises, gases trapped in the wood will push through the epoxy coat and create bubbles. Well, it had been in the 50s the night before I did this process, and during the time that I worked on the boat and afterward, the temperature rose about to 75, 76 degrees. So, and I'd completely forgotten about it because it had been so long since I'd done the other work. And I just had a mass of bubbles. So this morning I've sanded those off so that they don't seem to affect the appearance a whole lot, and I'm about to tape the edge and then cut the cloth to go over the deck. And after I've got that done, I will be doing a saturation coat on the cloth to get it adhered to the deck. So that'll be my next step. You can see that things don't look too bad from here, and they don't look too bad just in general. Things are a little rough here. If you get up close, they're a little rough. But I don't think this is going to make a difference because I'm going to be putting cloth over this. But it was just one of those things that you say, oh damn, what did I why didn't I think about that? I should have waited till today when the temperatures had stabilized some to do this work. But c'est la vie.